Now back up, Twix. I mean, Zuko. It's a good fly. Hey, Twix. Come on down, buddy. Oh, I love you too. You do the 11s, I know. Oh, quit whining at the food bowl.
Hi, buddies. Did you guys poop?
Yep, they pooped. Look how handsome this boy is.
So handsome. I don't want to play.
Could I what?
I was going to ask you to keep him over there, but that's long gone.
He's in the tunnel.
Oh, hi, buddy. So everyone tonight, or if there's even
You could
anyone
just
here.
hold him.
Hold you. You had a rough day. Did you tell everybody, all your aunts, about your rough day?
We had tree cutters and chippers out today, cleaning up trees and getting rid of a dying tree in our front yard. And it was very noisy. Twix did not like it. He hid in the hallway closet.
The entire day.
Zuko was like,
Well, the entire time they were here.
yeah. And Zuko was like, okay, whatever.
Well, he didn't. He tried to when I was out there watching them. He tried to come out, and then he's like, "Yeah, no." And so then he sat at the stool on the breakfast bar, and then he sat at the sink window too, watching them. But yeah, Twix had a very rough day. It was very loud. Very loud. But oh my gosh, it looks amazing. The 3 trees that we got cleaned, the 3 big trees out back, they got kind of groomed, a haircut. And I can actually see into another neighbor's yard I could never see. And they let a lot of sun in, and they just look very well kept. We took down the apple tree, and John was not happy with how they took it down. He was freaking out the whole time.
I wasn't freaking out,
You
but
were
I was
freaking
freaking
out.
on behalf of the guy. Basically, normally if you want a tree to fall in a certain direction, you cut an angle and then you use a rope to pull it. Well, they did that with the second tree, but the apple tree, they had a guy pushing on it while another guy with a chainsaw on the same side he was cutting into the tree. It's a good thing that thing didn't kick back, you know. Somebody'd be walking around with half a leg.
Yeah. And then they took down the
Hey,
they
stop that.
they took down the holly tree, which I didn't realize how gigantic that thing was because it was behind one of the corner trees.
The holly tree was pretty much growing down and up at the same time.
Was it?
Yeah, branches fell off and was going up.
Ugh. Anyway, they were like, ow, 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 the whole time. And, we have to do a weigh-in.
That's tomorrow. I thought about it, but we're on Tuesdays now.
Yeah, okay. So we got 4 trees all together. One in the front, the apple tree. There was a weird side, like, little tiny tree, which they took down, no problem. And then the holly tree, which was gigantic. It was so much bigger than I thought it was. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest with you. And then they cleaned up the 3 big ones, and they look gorgeous. So the stump guy was supposed to come today, and they didn't. They should be here tomorrow between 8 and 10, so it means early morning, more loud noise for the boys and us.
Yep.
So, and then we can start working on the rock garden area.
So,
Ghosties.
I believe they do like the laser dot. It's been a long time since we brought one in or played with it out there.
No, I don't. No, the backyard doesn't look naked. It looks, I would say, more kept.
Yes, definitely more kept.
Yeah. But I mean, gosh, there's like, it's a total blank slate, and there's so much we could do back there. So many different options. If money was like growing on trees, we would have like so many different options.
It probably was, and we just cut it down.
Yeah, probably. But the one big tree, the middle, I call it the middle tree, which is the smallest. They actually took off quite a few limbs because it was, I guess it was topped.
It was capped or topped, and then it grew up. Basically, grew up from there.
And it has like a weird kind of like crook in it, and he was saying that the one side was really heavy. But I love that he took so many of the branches down because it just, like I said, brings so much sun into the yard. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have to mow more often." I was like, "No, I don't." They were very nice, I thought, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So today was a big day. And then Wednesday is the big rock delivery. Did you see what Ghosty said about how different it is from being, being a guy that takes down the trees to a game developer or developer?
Oh, let's see. It broke up into 2 sentences.
Yeah, these guys were like hardworking. They were turning on. I'm sorry. They were tying up the rope on the trees, and then they would just pull and pull and pull. And the one tree the holly was really difficult because it was growing into the fence.
Yeah.
Aww.
That wasn't really growing into the fence, but the fence was placed right through the tree. Because it's right on the property line.
We're not taking down the stump on that one. We have 3 stumps that are coming out tomorrow. 2 in the front, and then the apple tree. Oh, and the chipper was just really loud. That was the thing that was really loud.
Yes, I did. There's 3 kittens side by side back there and still marked. He just tore off a piece. See?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one guy that was trimming the trees, he was just walking around the tree trunks like it was nothing with his ropes. It was pretty impressive. See, tonight John worked more on the slideshow video, the picture video, and I worked on making signs saying, "Wedding's in progress, drive slow."
Yeah, it's like the intro video. Yeah, doing it up into 3 parts. And yeah, the music, getting professionally qualified music that with a 1 million view license, it's expensive. We spent about, I think,
We spent close to 200 already.
Yeah.
Between the 4, we have 4 songs altogether.
The 3 of the songs are going into that clip. I'm not sure what's your intention with the wedding march one.
To use during the wedding.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Oh, look at, he's looking out back there.
No, they can't see him. Let me see.
Oh, it's going to turn to a wrestling match. And aren't Shelby's back there too?
It's like some Shelby's are back there. Klondike isn't. Ladybug isn't.
No updates on the boys' adoption yet. We put an email into the shelter today. The last that we heard is that possibly Saturday, that we would, either Friday night we would drop them off, or Saturday morning we would. And I have pleaded with them to see if we can hold off on that because of the wedding. So, what?
Hold off on what?
Dropping the boys off
Oh, yeah.
this weekend. Just because of the,
It's already hectic, and that'll be emotional, and that'll just tire us out even more.
and I had, I had let them know about it a couple weeks ago too, and had asked ahead of time not to.
Now, Peter's not buried back there. Peter was taken back up to the shelter. That's the third sibling of Ghosties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Ghosties. I don't really know the whole story. I mean, I would think it would be 2 weeks, but yeah. It's just, unfortunately, it's just the timing's not good. Saturday was hard enough, like doing all of that, and then adding a wedding the same day. I mean, we'll do it if we have to. I would prefer them not to go into the shelter tomorrow and be there for 5 days. So. Well, I don't know when we'll know. I think, it's probably getting close to time that the boys find their own home, right? Find a good home. I had a long talk with one of my friends that works for Whiskers at Home, that also volunteers for Homeward Pet, that I have to give it up about how they're fed, and that most likely they're not going to be fed how we do it. So I'm working through that process.
Yeah, there's now drive-up places where you can schedule an appointment to be tested.
There are. I haven't.
I saw one earlier, but the link didn't work for it.
Yeah, no, I haven't been paying attention to the testing sites. But I know if I had a fever, or if any of my employees had a fever, I would want them to go get tested as soon as they could. Or be quarantined for 14 days. Yeah, thanks, Ghosties. That's what Lisa and I were talking about today. So all I can do is give the information, and they can choose not to do it. But I had a lot of anxiety over the weekend about it, and and then not sleeping well and being in pain. So.
Yeah, it's like the mattress we bought a few months ago.
Well, a year ago now.
Yeah, it's been really hard on her. And she slept on her own mattress downstairs last night and woke up with no aches or pains. So at 12:30, we decided impromptu to swap out the mattresses so she could sleep upstairs. And
Libby's going to be so disappointed. She was all over me last night. Well, that's not true. She left me to go and hang out in the patio for an hour and a half to 2 hours. But she made sure she was downstairs when I had to use the potty, because that's her thing. She likes to escort me to the potty. And then she returned right back to the catio.
Nala and Coral, the ones that Sarah gave up after 2 years of fostering, are doing really well now.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's wonderful news. Yeah, I mean, we talked about, Lisa and I talked about, like, as long as they're loved, that's the most important thing. And it's true. B, I don't know how much you've shared John with everybody, but B well, we already know she's an odd cat. But one of the reasons why she's on Prozac is because she has a couple of times peed in the downstairs bathroom on the on one of the mat rugs. Yeah, and that's we've got that. Thank you, Ghosties. Those items listed. But anyway, B hasn't peed in, like, I don't know, 6 months or so since we started at least since March, since we started the Prozac. And tonight she went towards the litter boxes, and I had just literally scooped them, and they had been cleaned today. And she decided, nah, I'm not going to go to the litter boxes. I'm going to go to the bathroom. And she just sat and peed right in front of me.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might need some fill away in there.
I mean, others have suggested not. I mean, she hasn't done it in months. I don't know what the difference was tonight.
Oh.
And it wasn't a spray.
That was before we swapped the mattresses, so it wasn't a big change.
No. She was doing it in relation to something to do. Yeah, stressful day. That's a good point, Mary Jane. It was a stressful day. And also it had something to do with Ruthie. I don't know. That's a good point, though. Well, it was a stressful day. It was pretty loud.
Yes, the boxes were clean.
Yep, the boxes were literally just scooped, and I every 12 to 13 days I dump the box. Out of the 10 boxes I dump them, and then I scrub them down clean, and then I refill them. So I did the boys today. I did a total of 4 boxes today. I did 2 up here and 2 downstairs.
Yeah, she doesn't add litter to an existing box. Once it starts getting low, she dumps it, scrubs it, and adds new litter.
That's every 2 weeks for each of the boxes. I was counting on not having to do the boys' boxes again, but that didn't work out. That's for you. I keep playing with it. You didn't even see.
That's all right.
I ordered, did I tell you guys this last night? For Olivia, who's coming to the wedding, I ordered her fairy stuff to set up. I did barn stuff, so I'm excited for her to do that on Saturday.
We're going to have her design the whole upper level of the fairy garden.
And I got a unicorn.
I suggested putting in like 3 or 4 things, and then let her decide if they stay there and where everything else goes.
Yeah, I think she'll have a great time. She gets so excited. It's fun to watch her. We don't have young kids in our life, so it's interesting to watch them.
We'll tell her how the entry on the garden is now.
Oh, well, she did some really creative things that I had never thought about. She, so there was a cooking pot, like it had, that I had gotten for the fairy garden. I mean, it's tiny. It's like not even 2 inches, and it had like stones, and then it has a pot that's hanging, and I didn't know where to put it, so I just had it off to the side. And so she was playing, and she's like, and then there's a guy that has a fishing rod with a fish hanging from it. And so anyway, she ended up taking those 2 and putting the fish in the pot as like it was being cooked, which was so creative because I hadn't thought of that. And then she came up with, to enter the garden, you have to find the 2 hidden mushrooms. And she literally has 2 mushrooms in front of the door that are kind of like half buried. And you have to press them in order to enter. Yeah, you and I would never have thought of that, right, dear?
No.
It's so creative.
Things like it takes a child's mind to come up with something like that.
Yes, very so true. Dad. He wanted to lick your hair. He was licking it. It was so cute. His private parts were being shown. When he was in the when he was in the cat closet back there, neither Chris could or John could find him. But then when I was petting him, he started purring. Oh my gosh, it's 10 minutes to 2.
Yeah, we have to go in a few minutes.
Oops, sorry, buddy. Did they get a free feeding? And I guess I have to scoop, right? I still have to scoop. Yeah, he was completely freaked today. He's more sensitive than we thought. Because, you know, he doesn't like the facial mask when he doesn't meeting someone. Yes, totally. Like, that's, Ghosty's explaining to him. He's like, right, laid back, but scaredy. Yep, that's him.
That's Trillian.
Well, no, Trillian takes it to a whole new level, dear.
Trillian's laid back, but popcorny.
I don't think she's laid back. You even described her as something as taught or high anxiety. What did you describe her the other night?
That was
wound tight. A happy adoption day to Jillian.
Yep.
Or that was yesterday now, I guess.
It was, well, not, we haven't called
High
it back.
strung.
Woke up.
Yes, ghosties. Poor Trillian. Suddenly, Trillian did really well today with all the noise, actually. At first, she was really freaked out, and then she's like, I'm going to go lay in my heater bed. Yeah, it's very interesting. They're very confident in their controlled environment, but I guess if something goes wary, they're like, never mind. It was beautiful out today. It had a nice breeze going on.
Right him, Granny.
You can see Twix on the back. I steamed out my petticoat tonight. It's looking better. Zuko was very confident, though, in the house today. I'm actually surprised.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think? Do I have to scoop? I scooped earlier.
I think it's fine.
I'll be back.
It's covered.
I'll be back in the morning. Nope, you certainly don't hear that. Lizzie says, it's not something you hear often. I steamed my petticoat today. Is that how they did it in the 50s then? Did they steam their petticoats? Alright, sorry we're so late. Hope you guys have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. Our last day of work for a couple of days.
Yep.
Good night.
Enjoy the kitties. Have a nice day.